Ontario and New York City music station, Yes FM.
Drake is so pretty.
Drizzy Drake. Hold on, we're going home. All right.
Wait a second. Have you seen the video, or excuse me, the picture of Drake where they Photoshop out all of his teeth? So he's just got gums and it says thwag.
Oh.
The swag.
No, I haven't seen it. All right, you know somebody's getting married?
Yeah, I'm going to a wedding next month. Aaron's sister.
Okay. Perhaps you're getting married, or you know what? You're one of these people who really enjoy to have a crowd gather around you, just to hear what you have to say.
Or you're a wedding crasher.
I've got 11 things here that you guys can copy and paste off our website and take with you.
Just write it on your hand. What was that tip?
All right, 11 things you probably didn't know about weddings. Number one, the Egyptians were probably the first to exchange wedding rings.
Okay,
by medieval times. It was believed that a vein ran from the fourth finger of the left hand to the heart. So this became the trendy place to show off your rock. Number two, engagement rings didn't take off until the Middle Ages. In 1215, Pope Innocent III declared that there should be a longer waiting period between betrothal and marriage.
Okay.
Spiking the ring's popularity. Number three, and diamonds came even later than that. 1477 is when it's believed to have the first ever exchange of a diamond engagement ring. Archduke Maximilian of Austria proposed to Mary of Burgundy. Yeah, and they didn't become standard until 1947, when Frances Garrity, who never herself married, coined "a diamond is forever" for De Beers. Okay. Number four, white wedding dresses weren't in until Queen Victoria wore one to marry Albert of Saxe-Coburg in 1840.
So before then, you could just get married in a potato sack. I would do that.
And some still do today.
Yeah.
In ancient times, brides carried bunches of aromatic herbs like garlic, dill, and rosemary to ward off evil spirits.
Also, their guests probably stank.
That until the 1800s.
People didn't bathe.
Throwing the bouquet wasn't always about calling out single ladies.
What was it for?
It started because guests used to tear off pieces of the bride's dress in an attempt to take some of her luck home. The tossed flowers were intended to distract the crowd so she can get away unscathed. They would tear her dress off, pretty much, which is kind of weird.
That's that's assault.
I know. Early bridesmaids were dressed exactly like the bride to confuse evil spirits. Yeah, who might otherwise target the happy couple. So they all had the same dress. Yeah. The honeymoon comes from a Norse tradition wherein newlyweds would go into hiding for a month, drinking a cup of honey wine every day. A whole month.
That sounds okay. I think that should be legally mandated. If that were legally mandated and every employer had to offer that, I would get married.
Okay. Let's see, number 9, the bride stands to the groom's left at the altar because in the old days of marriage by capture, the groom needed his right hand free to fight off other suitors. So she's on the left, and he would fight people off with the right.
He's holding his sword.
To keep all these guys off.
Back you.
In marriage by capture. And the phrase tying the knot comes from an old Irish custom called hand fasting, which involved the tying of the bride and groom's hands together at the ceremony.
Literally with rope, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Aaron's sister is planning that at her wedding. Yeah. She went through this big whole process to find the right color and type of rope or string or whatever to do it. I was like, this is kind of ridiculous, but then she explained it. And I was like, oh, well, because they're an Irish family and whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And there's other uses to that later on, too.
Yeah.
And finally, during the Roman Empire, wedding cakes were actually bread, and they were broken over the head of the bride by the groom to symbolize fertility. So he'd take the bread and whack her on the head with it. It would break. And then that's how that whole tradition of smearing the cake in the faces, that's where that came from. So there
Seems a little bit more dangerous because cake is nice and fluffy and spongy, but bread can be super hard and crusty.
And probably doesn't, break in the first try. But you'd whack her on the head with bread back in the day. So there you go.
That is also assault. So most of these are about assault.
Assault, capture, fighting off suitors.
Evil spirits, possession.
Yeah.
Wedding is a whole gross thing, huh?
Yeah. And now you're just trying to find a DJ for this whole thing. Where do you even have it at? It's going to be at the VFW? I don't know. Times have changed, haven't they? All right, get the 11 things you didn't know about weddings right now. Go to yesfm.com, click on Murders in Demand, and read up, copy, and paste, and bring to your next wedding, Ethan, and show off for your friends and family. They will love you for it. They'll gather around just to hear you talk, Ethan.
They love it.
Yeah. Chris Brown, Don't Wake Me Up, 8:45, Yes FM.